Hey everyone, Sycra here, and today I'm going to be doing a critique of one of the forum members over at the Sycra.net forums. Okay, so here we have a girl in this destroyed building, and I really like the lighting you've done. It's very warm, and it gives, like, the colors you chose are all working together. It's very nice. I have some issues with your drawing, especially the face, and I'm going to get into that later, especially the anatomy. But the first thing I want to touch on is the reliance of digital effects. So if you look in the background, there's like clouds in the sky, and then there's leaves with this leaf brush and some patterns pasted on and things, and it's just really, I don't know, it seems like you're not ready to be using all these textures yet. You shouldn't be worried about this, and it just looks very digital. And it's not like things looking digital are wrong. It's just, I would not be relying on textures right now. I wouldn't be thinking about all these fancy painting things you can do. Instead, I would focus much more on the drawing, much more on getting your anatomy basics down. And so, yeah, it's not just something you do. It's very common now that I see people will focus too much on what brush are you using, what program are you using, what tablet do you use, and it's not about any of those. You could be doing this on pencil and paper, or with pencil and paper, and it should look good. So the first thing I would do if I was you is really practice your anatomy, your drawings, and especially anatomy, because there's a lot of mistakes when it comes to the anatomy. So when you see this face, you're seeing a lot of things that aren't showing any structure. For instance, okay, so you have this head, right? And the head is sort of in a profile view. It's a little bit turned towards us. So where would the center line be, right? So you've seen these heads that people will draw, right? You have the circle, and you have a line down the middle, and then you have this kind of thing. Now, this is important, because this line down the middle is telling you the center line. Where is this facing? Okay, so in this case, where is it facing? And usually what I'll do is I'll start with like a circle for the cranium, get a center line down, and then build off it. Now, from yours, I see that because the nose is sort of doing this kind of thing, again, use red, it's doing this, and then you have this, as opposed to a profile where you have it in a perfect side view like this, where the nose would be doing something like this. You have it a bit so she's turned and she's facing us. Okay, so that's fine. So that means this center line is going to turn and face us a bit. But what happens when that happens? Well, you start turning, what's going to happen is the ear is going to turn, you're going to get the jaw. It's going to be doing something like this. And I think this head is altogether too big, like in your picture as well. But I'm going to let that slide a bit more, because it's not too bad. Get the shoulder here. Okay, so the head's going to turn. So what's going to happen? Well, the eye is going to move more to the side. And I'm doing it, like, I'm giving it quite a big turn. Maybe I should be more fair to you and give it a very subtle turn the way you did. More subtle. So, get the head, just a slight turn. Okay, something like that. Okay, so this is our structure. This is what we're starting with. This is what you want to be starting with. Now, if you just started with even this, then what's going to happen is, okay, you have an ear here, sure, you have the jaw going down. Now you have hair, but the hair is going to be on top. So when I see your hair, there's this shape happening here where, okay, you want to feel how this cranium is going, right? So if this is the cranium, it seems to be a strange shape like this. and then you've got an eye. Well, an eye fits within the skull. So imagine a skull underneath here. It doesn't matter that it's anime, so it's not an excuse to be like, well, I'm doing anime, I'm doing a style, because even with anime you can fit skulls, skeletons, and in the body. So, okay, the skull's here, but then there's an eye socket here, and then there's a teeth down here, and pretty soon you can see, like, if you tried to put a skull in here, this is going to be very wonky. So this is what you want to avoid. It's planning with all this structure. When you are doing these kinds of guidelines and beginning lines, getting the form down, this is not nothing. This isn't to help you just make a picture, because I see sometimes there's like lines like this are treated like a formula where it's about, okay, you draw a box and then you divide the box in half and then in a quarter, and then you put like a circle here, and then the eyes will be on this part, or whatever they do, and then you add a bit more. It's not about that. It's about, these aren't so much guidelines in terms of how to put a picture, how to create a picture. It's more a guideline on, well, what lines up with what is the proportion of a face. So the center line, this describes something that you could move in any position and that center line would still sort of line up. It's giving you a hint of valuable information, not so much how to do a drawing. So I would stay away, probably, it's a personal opinion, but I would stay away from tutorials that sort of tell you how to do a picture, how to create an image, like how to draw an angel, and they've got an angel in a very specific pose already, and the wings are doing a very specific thing, and then they're just showing you how to go step by step and get that result. You don't want to be doing that. So that's a long-winded thing, but okay, let's get back to your image. Okay, so now it's a side view, right? The nose is a little bit peeking, like it's turning towards us a little bit. Okay, so we get that. Now, you see what's going to happen? You're going to see a hint of this back eye. Now, the hair is covering it, so fine, the hair is covering it here, but then this hair is doing a very strange thing because it's going down and sort of crossing over, and I guess you could do that a bit, but it's a very strange placement. What I would rather see is the hint of the other side of the face here. So, okay, so I'm going to get the hint of that eye. Now this, so it's more like the eye is somewhere here. You don't even have to draw it. Like, start to think about placement. It's okay to be rough. Okay, so the eye's going to be around here, and there's going to be an eye socket. This is a head, right? Okay, halfway down the head is where the eyes are going to be. So the eyes are going to be around here. And be talking to yourself. Okay, the eyes are this way. Now it's a side view, so the eyes are going to be in almost side view. So a side view eye sort of looks like this, right? And in a side view, you have this part of the nose, the bridge of the nose, and it's doing this thing where it comes, and then you have the, what do you call this? The brow ridge, the eyebrow ridge. And then, so where this is, see this indent? Usually it lines up with the top of the eye, the top of the eyelash. So that's kind of a hint thing to help you. So, okay, you got that. So this is going to be sort of a side view, and a front view is more like what you have, where it's, you know, this is a front view. Now, see, your eye is looking to the side, but if we just did a front view and the eye was looking to the side, it would kind of look like that. So you want to get in between this and then this. So what's in between these two is something more, and the eye's looking back, something more like this. And again, to put it back into the style, that's fine, but it's still going to look like that more than this. So it's a drawing issue. You get your eyebrow in, and this eyebrow is very high, so you can do that. But again, it follows a rhythm. You have to learn proportions. It's very important to learn realism before you go into anime for this reason. It's so that even though it's anime, you're working with things that are a stylization of reality. So, okay, you've got the nose, and you've got the eye, and you have the mouth, it's coming around, then the tongue sticking out. So it's going to be more of these things, and then you would have the hair. Well, what's the hair doing? The hair is on top of the head. So we have this head. This is not a flat circle. This is representing a three-dimensional form. If we got a center line in here, I'll use this blue, it's going to go something like this. Right? And then the other side of the head is going to be doing something like this. So that means the hair, it has to come from somewhere. So there's a point of origin, and we'll get the hairline in. So imagine this person had a buzz cut. What would the hair be doing? What would the hairline look like? Maybe something like this. Okay, but they don't have a buzz cut, so the hair is coming down. And I think hairstyle is pretty good. It's just that if you think about it, this style of the hair is a detail, and the rest is foundation. So you want to get your foundation before you do the details. When it comes to these patterns, again, these are details. This stuff, it's all detail, but it's like, okay, sure, you have details, that's nice, but not at the expense of, or not when you don't have the foundation, only when you already have the foundation. So it's like, okay, yeah, you can get your hair in and do whatever you want, but it's got to be built off thing. And so anatomy. Anatomy is really important. That is going to help you, and proportion. And seeing things in 3 dimensions. So how do you do that now? Because it's like, well, I've been drawing and I'm still struggling with this. This is all hard. Well, the way to do that is really by just drawing a lot. And a lot is like, as long as it takes to get you what you need. Now, I made a video called How to Practice Drawing, and I think the method for improving is well done in that video. And basically it's talking about, you start, instead of doing one head, you'll do like a head, and then you'll do like a bunch of different heads. You do it 20 times, or I don't know if I specified, but let's say you do it like 20 times. Okay, and then you're getting better at heads. And then you'll do like your side view and your things. And basically what this is even when you know fundamentals. So I had some critics saying, oh, you shouldn't do it this way, you should learn fundamentals. No, you know the fundamentals. The reason you do this is not, this is just how I practice proportion because I'm just learning to trace a shape or anything like that. No, what's happening is basically it's just repetition. So you know, let's say you're in school and they teach you a formula for a math equation, right? Okay, well, they can teach it to you and you can understand it, but then they give you homework that you have to do this over and over and over again, different problems, using this equation, or figure out which equation to use. That's this thing. That's the whole, you need to repeat it. It's not enough to know it. It's the same as when you learn to drive a car, you can learn all the theory, but then when you're behind the wheel, it doesn't mean you can drive the car just because you know the theory. you have to practice it. So when you do things like this and you practice it over and over again, what's going to happen is this is going to become part of your memory. You'll be able to sort of do this at will, and it'll be very easy. But not just that, it's going to be strengthening your ability to see things in 3 dimensions. So the more you draw, the more you'll be able to draw more things, and those things you do will get better, and everything is just going to keep improving. So I would recommend, because it sounded like you were very unsure of where to go and what to do, do a lot more drawings. When you have a pose like this, that's cool, fine. You have a pose, but simplify it. This pose is really not bad. It's a bit strange, I guess, because some of the tongue sticking out and stuff, I don't know, seems a bit weird, but the idea is not bad. But don't be so quick to get your idea down that you're going to be in this huge hurry to create finished works, because treat it like you were playing an instrument, right? Let's say you're playing piano. Okay, well, you know, before you can play fancy pieces, you're going to have to learn the basic pieces. You're going to need to play scales. You need to understand how to play Mary Had a Little Lamb or something. Like, the easy stuff has to be done, and it would be a bad idea probably to get into too difficult pieces too soon, because even if you learn how to play them, you probably won't be playing them very well. So anyway, that's my point, is do more drawing. So yeah, you did one pose and then do another of the pose and refine things, see if you can learn, see if you can experiment. But in your case, I think it's even too soon to be going into anime stuff right now, simply because you're lacking fundamentals in realism, and you really want that dealt with. Don't think of anime as just, you know, oh, big eyes. It's not. It's not just, well, let me see how this person does eyes and copy it. Because it's all built off reality. At least the good ones are. The good ones are built off reality. Things that are bad tend to be built off someone else's interpretation of reality. And you don't want someone else's interpretation. You want to be able to do this yourself, right? And once you can do it yourself, you can create a style, and you can understand why people made this choice to do this style or that style. So anyway, I hope you keep drawing, because your drawing's really nice, your ideas are cool. I can really see you in a few years, because it does take years, but creating really amazing work. So I hope this helped, and thanks for watching.